These magnificent spires of rock come out of 60 metres of water to create the perfect natural structure. They are part of the Mokahinau Islands in the Hauraki Gulf, or the Mokes as we fishermen call them. The ocean swells and current hit these rocks, causing an oxygen-rich wash that is the perfect home for many sea creatures. Below the water is an unseen battle of predator and prey, and this is what we're hoping to take advantage of with our live baits. So what happens on a piece of structure like this is you get tide and current hitting these rocks. And what that does is push all the nutrients, plankton, krill, everything, and all the schoolfish, massive school of kahawai just behind us, feeding on that, and then the bigger predators, well, they come along and feed on the kahawai. So that's one of the big keys to fishing structure. The ocean was absolutely alive with fish. The way the baitfish was reacting was a sure sign that there were predators in the area. I could feel my bait getting nervous by the way the rod was nodding so hard. Getting eaten. Donnie's just picked up my bait, but it hasn't run with it, but it hit it really hard. We were just going through one of those schools of kahawai. I reckon they're trying to eat it. Here we go. Still there. Give them plenty of time. I gotta chase that big bait around. I think he's got it. Tense times. Come on, pick it up. Another four. See if anything's happening. It's gone light. I can't feel anything down there. Can't feel any weight.
Hopefully he hasn't broken it off, you know, on the rubber band.
Yeah, that's what it's feeling like.
It's happened, eh?
Yep, got off. Better check that, see what's happened. Rubber bands might have broken and he ate my bait. Yeah, it's gone. That's fishing. Wait for hours. All over in seconds. The shark had bitten through my trace, so Tony demonstrated his way of bridle rigging a live bait.
All right, let's go. Yeah.
Fresh bait, Tony?
Yeah, we're going to put a fresh one on. Adam, we saw some fish before.
Yeah, that's the one I was catching.
Yeah, I know. So I think we're going to drop down a litre size. Instead of using 150 pound, we're going to drop down to 100 pound fluorocarbon.
Yep.
Just because, you know, we know they're there. They might be a bit shy on the bite today, so
low visibility.
Yep. So we're going to bridle rig this one up with our lighter leader. So hopefully this is going to be what
does the trick.
You got it.
How's my rubber band holding going?
The rubber band's going good. Yep. You're an expert at that. There you go. Perfect. No, both of them over. Yep.
Oh. Both over.
Yep.
So twist.
Yep. Twist around 3 times.
Once the wrong way.
And then through the wrong way. And 2 more twists. Lock it up.
Yep. And round the right way. Beautiful.
Now we've got this nice fresh bait, lighter leader, and a smaller hook. So hopefully this is going to do the damage. Get him in there. He's off.
Ooh, the fresh bait.
Yeah, and we don't let that bait. We don't need to feed it too long. With that rubber band, it can stretch in the mouth, and you know, so you get a good hook set, and that bait doesn't have to be down the throat, which is quite important, especially in this rocky sort of terrain area. You don't want to feed them too long, because by the time he's swallowed it, he'll be on the bottom and break you off before you go tight. So,
got a bite here. We're just about fallen asleep, but it's running well, this one. Giving him plenty of time, taking nicely. Right by the school of fish. He's there. There we go.
back up on it a bit, mate.
Yep. Get the weight on him. Oh, slowly. Coming towards us. Drive forward. That's it. Got the weight on forward. Yeah, I got the weight on it. That's a real hookup. We've been working all day for this one. Been very, very patient. Just slowly forward, yep. He's got a bit of boogie to him. Try and get him under control, get him into a bit of deeper water. Feeling a bit of reef there actually.
Yeah, we're at 31 metres. Got about 4 metres on you.
Feeling something down there.
Yep.
Slow, slow, slow.
Back down. Yep. Get up, straight up and down.
Trying to maintain control, not lose too much line. Some pretty nice head shaking going on down there. Tony's doing a fantastic job just keeping me on top of the fish and slowly edging us out into deeper water. Haven't had a fight from a kingy like this for a very long time.
Stalemate there.
Very much a stalemate. Battle of wills at the moment. I just see he's got a cray pot or something on. He's got a cray pot on him, Tony.
Crazy.
That's why it's so hard.
What's the chances of that happening, eh?
I know, mate. I thought I'm stronger than that. I've got to be able to pull this fish in. But I was pulling in about 50 kilos of cray pot as well.
Still a nice
Let's
king.
get him, mate. There we go. A day's structure fishing. And we caught a structure to catch our fish. Not the structure we were after. Thanks, Tony.
Oh, thanks, mate.
I feel like I earned that one, but I sort of feel like I cheated as well.
We worked for that. That's a nice fish.
Beautiful.
Nice long fish, eh?
Coming up, attack of the killer crayfish. Darren finds some big crays acting strangely while diving along a weed edge.
Today I'll talk to you about structure, the best places to find fish and crays, and why you pick that sort of area. Great Barrier is our dive spot. We're on board Golf Cat charters with the Rogers family based out of West Haven. I'm following Jackson, my son, and a group of his mates. They're very good now at recognising places to locate fish, having spent hours swimming, looking and learning. Jackson has spotted lots of bait fish on a weed edge. Bait fish generally mean other fish. It's a good place to start. See the edge of the weed he's heading for. This is good country. Bait fish have congregated here and look very agitated. Throwing up sand on the edge like this is a good technique to bring in teriki. They love this nice clean white sand and high bull kelp. The boulders and kelp offer somewhere for them to hide and rest. But they're always on the lookout for food. This boulder-strewn edge is also a good spot for crays. We find a large mob of packhorse crays, some in the act of changing shells. Watch as it slowly pulls its leg out of the old shell, discards it, then slips safely back into a hole. This is a first for me. We never get to witness this sort of thing. It must be a dangerous time for them. A big snapper could nail them in this situation. Back out on the weed edge, fish keep turning up. Jackson staying so still makes fish very inquisitive, making for an easy shot. Generally, if you only take a couple of crays from any spot, what I mean by this is farm them, take enough for a feed, every year they'll come back to the same place. The teriki are the same. If you leave a few, others will keep turning up and stopping off. Up from the sand edge on the boulder bank, butterfish will rise from the weed, especially if there's tide. They love these banks. Sam Power takes one packhorse. He makes sure it isn't soft, otherwise you have to leave it where it was. Jackson finds a lone packie sitting beside the only bit of structure for a long way. It's obviously stopped here while moving from spot to spot. It camouflages quite well with this type of kelp. Jackson decides to take this one. See how he comes from behind and uses the weed to cover the approach of his hand. It's going to get a ride in the Weddy float boat along with the other Paki and Tereki. The float boat makes it easy for us, no drag and unsinkable. Further out and away from structure, we find this lone Paki heading away from land into the deep. He's on the defensive, attacking the camera. With nothing to hide behind, I suppose this is the best thing to do. His claws are very sharp and strong. He could certainly damage your hand. He spots Jackson behind him and moves on to vent his anger with him. It's a bit of a David and Goliath. You have to admire him taking on something so much bigger than himself.
That was great. Big pile of peckles, crays all around this big boulder down there, as you've seen. And lots of tereki and all sorts of other species. We're still winter time, it's August that we're diving. And it's an amazing spot, this. And nice clear water, so have a look what we got in the float boat. Now these things, as you've seen on the footage, were all over that rock. Some of them were shedding their shells, these ones are nice and hard. Beautiful big crays. Lots of tereki down there. Bit of a seafood smorgasbord.
Kirk is off to visit a floating farm that really attracts the fish.
I've gone for the brown and white because I want to imitate bits of mussel. I'm heading out today to fish structure, and the structure that I've chosen to fish is mussel buoys. The mussel buoys, when those barges are working, are like a huge big burley trail. The barges are in there pulling the mussels off, there's a huge burley trail in the water, there's a whole lot of noise, and that brings all sorts of fish from all sorts of places. So I'm heading across the Firth today into the Coromandel area to see what I can find.
The Wave Runner was in its element on this calm journey across the Firth to the Coromandel. As I got nearer to my destination, I was pleased to see a barge working and not too many other boats fishing.
When you're doing this type of fishing, it's not like your what I would call traditional fishing. You've got to put yourself really close to the structure, and the structure in this case is those mussel buoys, but you've also got to keep clear of it because it's a moving feast. That barge is constantly moving. There's other boats around the area, lots of charter boats and private boats, and you can get into some nice fish, and I'm hooked up. It just goes to show, you get in the right place and the fish are there. But right up in the mussels, that's where it's happening. Here he comes. It's a nice one. There he is. Got a bit of damage to his lower area. Looks like he's been attacked by something. But we'll let him go anyway.
It was amazing how not only was all this noise not scaring the fish away, it was actually attracting them like a dinner bell.
The gear I'm using in the mussel farms today is the Daiwa Freems 3000. That's spooled with 6 kilo line on the Team Daiwa rod. Beautiful soft bait rod, and I'm just using a 1/4 ounce jig head with the brown and white soft bait. I've gone for the brown and white because I want to imitate bits of mussel and bits that are floating down.
If you're not using soft bait like I am today, mussels are a great bait to use in a situation like this.
Yep. Oh yeah. Nice fish. Oh yeah, that is a good fish. A lot of weight here on this one. Oh yeah. Got to try and get him away from these lines now. Oh. Yeah. Part of the technique of fishing these mussel farms, keep out of everybody's way, keep the fish away from the lines, and everybody has fun. It's the beauty of the ride system with the wave runner. The reverse is on the left hand, which means that I can just keep the ski running and reverse, neutral, forward, all at the touch of a fingertip. Fishing in 20 metres of water. And that burley makes its way all the way right through the water column. You can get these fish at any depth. Here he comes now.
This was a nice sized eating fish, so it was going on ice in the Icy Tech for dinner. The harvester is a massive natural burley bomb with bits of broken mussels, crabs and other sea creatures falling down through the water, attracting those snapper.
When you're fishing in a location like this, you've got to make sure you at least catch the eye of the crew. They're working hard and they don't want to have to be avoiding you if you park behind them or in their way. Generally, they're pretty happy for you to fish alongside, but you just got to have a bit of respect for them, really. They're doing a job, they're out here doing a job, so just keep out of their way, and if they ask you to get a bit further back, then get a bit further back. You can easily cast into where the fish are without getting too close. I'm lucky on a ski I can get right in close. I've got nothing hanging down, I've got no props or anything hanging down that can foul their ropes. So I can get right in close, right on these buoys without any trouble. And right now, that's where the fish are. Here we go, Corey. Oh, fish on. Yep.
Even though it wasn't a massive snapper, it still put up a great fight around all the snags of the mussel farm, any of which can bust you off at any time.
It's just as he dumped over a whole lot of mussels. It's got some good weight to it. Yeah. There's some good weight here. Just using the ski, using the steering with the engine running, just to let me drift backwards, nice and central, down the path. I'm almost at the end of the buoys.
You can get all kinds of different species in a farm. In addition to the snapper I'm catching today, you can get trevally, kingfish, kahawai and John Dory.
Here he comes.
Fishing around all this structure, it pays to keep your drag tight and work the fish hard. There are plenty of mussel farms like this dotted all around the country, and they all produce some excellent fishing at times.
And another nice fish. And there he is. Look at that. Another beautiful fish. What a day out.
With the barge continuing to harvest, the fish continued to bite.
Fish on. Nice solid fish in here. Not massive, you know, but they're a nice solid fish, a good fight. Oh yeah.
With the day drawing to a close, this looked like it could be the fish of the day.
Look at that. That's about a 7 or 8 pound snapper, that one. Beautiful fish. What awesome fun this mussel farm's turning out to be today. Off he goes. What a day, what a fish, what a location, and what a method of fishing. Just goes to show, mix things up a bit. Try fishing the top, fishing the bottom, fishing near the barge, away from the barge. It's all work today. Doesn't matter if you're quiet, you're noisy, it's all on. Just get out there and do it.